today, they take a step closer to being champion. A superb battle so far. But we've got two other classes to talk about. GT, the championship fight is hot. Only 4 between the PTG BMW team of Bill Auberlen and Boris and Justin Marks.
It looks like that GT championship is going to come down to either Bill Auberlen or Boris, separated by just those 4 markers. But I think the key to victory today may be the performances of their teammates. Joey Hand in the 22 car, Boris' teammate, has been absolutely flying in the drive. He's been the fastest of all 4 drivers. But in these rainy conditions we're now seeing, that's where Justin Marks typically shines. Now in STS...
Grid will roll through at the top of your screen. Meanwhile, let's get back down to pit road and get an update.
There is another one out there also, Chris. Ashley Calvin. And
one GT car with Billy Auberlen and Justin Marks. Terry Borcello there as well, so too Brumos 58. And on board with a former Rolex GT champion, Bill Auberlen, will hand over to the ever-improving and fast young Californian Justin Marks. And we also have the 66 as well in GT. Now, we talk about rain, Dorsey. We've already seen sprinkles, and this would be pretty tricky if it rains this afternoon.
It will, and right now everybody's on slicks as they get ready for the start. No rain tires on the cars yet.
2 races to go in the Rolex Sports Car Series. Will the championship take a different track today? Green flags at Barber Motorsport Park.
Green wide, headed down into turn 1. It's a downhill corner. Very slippery on the first lap.
Andrew Davis got overtaken by the second Ganassi car, the 02. Jimmy Morales slots into 3rd. Then Elliott Forbes Robinson rounds up Wayne Taylor. Taylor being very careful.
I'll say everybody's very well mannered here at the beginning. You see a little rain around the track. Camera lens right there, right on board with 21.
Bill Auberlen.
Give you a speed shot here as you go up into this blind corner. Driver cannot see over the brow of this hill. And whatever turn you've committed to, that's what you're stuck with when you get over the top of that rise there.
And that's Milcaduno up ahead. Plenty of brand American 250 continues here at Barber Motorsports Park. While there's only 4 seconds separating the top 4 in the Daytona prototypes. Let's talk GT for a moment. And the former Rolex GT champion Bill Auberlen is on his way to getting his 2nd GT title this year with another solid result today. But look who is hounding him. It is the Maserati of Washington, Maserati Light, GT Light, with João Barbosa behind the wheel of the 33. The Portuguese driver has really come to the fore in the past 12-18 months and has done a stunning job so far, not only in qualifying, Chris, but he's doing a nice job here now.
Lee, Joao has been so excited about this program. Early on, that car just could not compete with the BMWs. Now he thinks it can. And this car is definitely the specs for what we're going to see in 05 and 06. So right now, the BMW still has a little bit of an edge. He thinks the BMW still has a little bit more power. As for the racetrack, he says the dry line is good. However, when you try and get offline to pass a car, it's very slippery out there.
Certainly exciting times for Emil Asentato and Dr. Steve Earle and Glenn Marquis, who runs the team, to see this machine that has been refined week after week, race meeting after race meeting, running a fine, strong 2nd place. There's the margin. 3rd in GT is the 23 Horizon Motorsport Pontiac. Let's talk about the 60, and yes, it's in Brumos cars. A tribute to the Brumos racing team from Gunnar Jeanette and his father Kevin, as Gunnar races with Marino Franchitti this weekend. It's Gunnar behind the wheel right now. They sit 4th in, rather make that 5th in class. Behind there's the Pontiac just going through shot there. The yellow and blue Pontiac GTO with Charles Espinlau behind the wheel. Talk about sudden improvement for those guys too.
Right, no doubt about it. That Pontiac is again one of the 05 type of cars that we'll be seeing all of next year, 05, 06. This is a car that will be running next year. They're taking this year to develop it. It might not be up to the standard of some of the others, but by next year, that will be a very good car.
Charles Espinlau is a driver who has made his name in Speedway Challenge, but he's doing a pretty fine job here, Cal, at the moment.
he is, and he had a great run going at VIR, as you remember, Lee, and unfortunately had a blown head gasket that day. That was the engine problem they had last week. Got those straightened out. They actually have a second car already built for next season. Got much better weight distribution, different gearbox configurations. They're looking for really great things with that Pontiac for the 05 year.
Chase is on though, because look who's hounding him. Is the 22, Boris said, is starting to zero in on the back of the Pontiac. Remember, Boris said earlier, if it rains, look for us. These cars are mighty in the wet.
Yeah, they are. They're really good cars. When Boris had the race started on rain tires, it didn't rain. He fell way back, getting the slicks that he needed. And right now, I mean, it's still just drizzling, but it's not enough to do anything with a tire choice yet.
It's just frustrating, Dorsey, as a driver, where when it's here nor there, it's not completely wet, it's not completely dry.
It's the worst of times, really, because it's really slippery. If it should rain really, really hard, then you come get the rain tires, and you can deal with it. It's not a problem. But when it's doing what it's doing right now, you just never know what to expect. Every corner is a different hit.
And Boris is really starting to apply the pressure now to Charles Espinal. Pontiac versus BMW here. They stretch their legs. Boris will switch to the inside. This is the key overtaking point on the track, and he's done it. Boris said moves into the top 3 in GT. And it's important for him to do that because he's fighting his teammate in the 21, Bill Auberlen, for that GT crown. There's only 4 points separating them coming into this race today. And here comes Andy Wallace in the background. He's some 40 seconds back on our race-leading car. But that's nothing for Wallace. We've seen him reduce deficits like that in the past.
And when he finally got done with the driver change a little bit, back on the racetrack, he's about a half a lap of rears to the rest of the pack of cars. So he is, in fact, he's charging all right, but he's still a long way to go.
Rain appears to be getting a little heavier too. Conditions not great, and we're under our second full yellow. What is it for?
It might be because of this rain.
Only in the top class, look at this in GT. It's the Maserati of Washington GT Light, with Ra Barbosa leading Boris said. The Maserati over the BMW, the second team BMW, is in third place with the wheel. And these guys are running 10th, 11th, and 12th overall. Fine effort, Calvin.
Yeah, it's a superb race out there in the GT class, of course, and Joao Barbosa, he is a superstar in the making, Lee. So great performances this year. But one advantage that that little Maserati has, one of the concessions running in the 2005 specification, is a slightly larger fuel cell, 24 gallons, as opposed to 21 in all of the other GT cars. So he's got a bit better mileage available to him this afternoon. But just to give you an update on the 2 PTG cars, Boris said and Bill Auberlen will need one more stop, and during that stop they need to hand over to their teammates, of course, Joey Hand and Justin Mark. So I think the key is going to be how they perform, how their teammates perform, and as I said in the open, Joey Hand has been flying in dry conditions, so if we don't see any rain, look for him to perform this afternoon.
Calvin mentioned the word flying. I tell you who's flying. It's Max the Axe Angelelli. He just did a lap 1.7 second. Big difference between these two, besides the chassis, is that the 54 has to execute a driver change. Christian Fittipaldi must climb in that car.
And that will take some precious seconds away when they make that stop. It won't be very long now before Max is just the tail end of this track. He's catching these guys at 2 seconds a lap. So it won't be long. You'll see that black number 10 SunTrust car mixing it up in here too.
Meanwhile, Angelelli has made quick work of getting by Darren Law, and the SunTrust car continues to power on.
And it's Angelelli who's got to be the aggressive one now. He has got to get by through it without question if he wants to stay alive in this championship.
Lead GT car, there it is there. Bill Auberlen, Justin Marks, they've executed their change. Justin is behind the wheel. So too is Joey Hand, second in GT. Third is the Gunnar Jeanette Porsche with Marino Franchitti driving that car and doing a good job. There's the Scotsman.
You can see the sheen in the corners now. You're starting to see a little bit of the sheen in the wet, which means definitely it's going to be slippery, but I hate to say it, it's not ready for rain tires yet. The guys on rain tires are going to really be chewing them up and blistering them.
Well, they are 10th, 11th, and 12th. And when I say they, the cars, the drivers who have opted to go for the wet weather tires. Andy Wallace is 10th, Andrea Montermini is 11th, and Court Wagner is 12th. We will monitor their progress. Stop and go penalty for the 22, and Calvin has more on this.
Well, this was for that wheel gun that was connected when Joey Hand left his pit box, and it's taken him this long to get the stop done. It has to be done under green, and this will really have championship implications with Justin Marks out front in the 21 car league.
This class, and we haven't spent a great deal of time today on SGS, but there's been a lot happening up front, but this has been pretty intense here too, and let's give a pat on the back to Lee Keane and Corey Friedman. They sit second in SGS, chasing the 38 T56 Porsche of Andy Lally and Mark Bunting. Their nearest rivals in the championship chase, Mike Limitus ranking a third. A strategic call in relation to tyres for Kevin Doran, pay off big time again for a team. His crew are incredibly tired after having to help the Shank and the Doran car, the Shank and the G&W team this week. Let's talk GT for a moment. Justin Marks leads the way. He's 8th overall, doing a nice job. And GT points, the lead would in fact grow for Bill Auberlen over Boris said. It was 4 coming into today's race, and with this result at the moment, because Boris said with Joey Hand, his co-driver behind the wheel, they're sitting second, so they would get a few more points over the sister car. Let's hear from Bill Auberlen, champion going into the last race. Cal.
Bill, the championship is very tight between you and Boris. It looks like you've got the upper hand right now, but talk about the pressure on your young teammate, Justin Marks. He realizes, you know, your championship is on the line, and in these tough conditions, how's he handling it?
This is what Justin likes. He likes these weird conditions that change from dry to wet, and he shines, and right now he's doing a great job. I got my fingers crossed for him. He did the same thing in VIR and came out shining. We won. He needs to do just one more. Come on, baby, he can do it.
I believe you guys are still on slicks, but we've seen a lot of rain happening here over the last 10 minutes, Bill. How much longer can the boys hold on slick tyres? When will they need wet weather tyres?
Well, figure that we have like a 45 or 50, or big lead over second. If they change to dry rains, they start catching us. But when they come in, that'll put them over a lap down to us. And hopefully a yellow comes out and we'll keep that lap. And that's what we're banking on.
All right, strategy is going to be key, Lee.
Certainly is. The 33 Maserati is back out on track, as you can well see right there, as Justin Marks ducks up the inside of the Milas and Tato. So nice to see the Maserati back out on track, albeit late in this race.
Well, I hate to be the bearer of bad tidings with these guys on the slicks. When this goes green, which is about to do, it is going to be slippery.
Hang on tight. Put those belts on a little tighter. And look who's looming in 4th place. Scott Pruitt is not done with yet, and here comes Andrea Montermini.
That's the car to watch right now. It's on rain tires, and it now will start making huge gains on these guys. You saw how slow they had to go through that corner because they're on slicks.
This is the car we've been telling you about. A great strategical decision from Kevin Doran and his men as he whips by the GT cars. Montermini now runs 5th overall, and Pruitt is the next car on his list.
And he'll just slow these guys down with no problem because they have not got any grip on these corner entries. They're going to have to just about stop the car to keep them sliding. He won't.
The F1 driver through the early 90s, 92, 93, 94. Let's talk GT for a moment. Justin Marks is about to assist his good friend and teammate Bill Auberlen with his championship hunt. They're ready for another victory over Boris said, Joey Hand, Spencer Pumpelly and Mark Greenberg sit 3rd. And the point situation in GT, 7 would be the margin going in to California Speedway Fontana. And Calvin, Boris said, needs something a little awkward to happen to Bill Auberlen and Justin Marks at Fontana to win this race, win this championship.
He does, Lee, but Bill Auberlen, you now have a bit of breathing room. We finish under caution here today, 7 points. And your teammate has really withstood that pressure today tremendously, very difficult conditions.
Fantastic. He's coming around. He's a young guy, but he's turned out to be a great guy, a great teammate. He did a fantastic job here this weekend. As much as I tried to make the wrong calls, Brian, Dave, Dougie, Tom, they kept me from making all the wrong calls. They made all the right decisions all day. The car's got to go one more lap or a couple more laps, and we're looking good. I want to say hello to Yvette, my mom. Be home soon.
Okay, PTG looking for a 1-2 finish here today, Lee.
Boris said in the background. And white flag is waving. White flag is waving here at Barber Motorsports Park. And that means we will finish under yellow. And there'll be some relieved and pleased people out there. Track caught Christian Fittipaldi. And that car is severely damaged. 2nd place in GT goes to Joey Hand, and Boris said he's still in the hunt, but it's becoming a more difficult proposition, Cal. That's Boris said.
It is going to be difficult for Boris. You're 7 points behind now going into the final round, but today could have been so different. That wheel gun malfunction or getting stuck on the wheel and the stop and go really hurt you guys today.
Yeah, I mean, that lost us some track position, and then you get lapped by the overall leaders, and we lost the lap. So that's just one of those deals, but it's still a great day for BMW to come to Barber Motorsports Park, which is sponsored by Porsche, and there's Porsches all over the place, and we kicked their butts. I won't say the S word because I don't want to get fined, but it was a really good day for the whole BMW team. A little disappointing for me, but we still have one more race, and you never know what could happen.
All right, well, good luck, Boris. Talking about the S word, he was actually with Dale Earnhardt Jr. midweek celebrating his 25th birthday. He said it was a lot of fun down there in Charlotte, boys.